Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to hit that like button. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course, I always do greatly appreciate it. But with that being said, let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. I have been getting a lot of questions saying, where should I buy HBAR? Like, at what, price should I buy HBAR? And honestly, it is up to you, but I am eyeing the 4 to 7 cent zone. And I've addressed exactly why. So, if you are a part of the Discord, I'm sure that you guys are probably aware of the few targets that we are watching for on Bitcoin. And Crypt30 is one of the individuals that is a part of the Discord. And he's really kind of eyeing a few levels that I'm also looking at. We do see a break, past 30.7K, likely up to rally to 32.6K to roughly 33 as first major resistance. Break down to 28.8K, likely down continuation and a retest of the 27.7K area. Whales who only bought, December 2018 low and March of 2020 lows are buying in this range right now. My long remains open. And this is also where I'm really kind of coinciding with the idea that I've been entering into some altcoin positions. Although altcoins are in a bear market, I'm still, averaging into a few positions, and I've been sharing my thoughts on that. In fact, I already released a video on my website, encashofficial.com, in terms of a major altcoin position that I did take. But for HBAR, I'm definitely eyeing the roughly 4 to 8 cent zone for accumulation if we do continue to see those areas tested. Recently, we just seen a test of almost 9 cents. On the 7-day span, you guys do see a deep wick down here to roughly, it was almost like 9.5 cents. So to me, we're kind of building out a floor here. But if Bitcoin does wick down to some of those significant levels like 27.7K, we will see this at some significant lows. And those lows, if we go back to the chart from 2021, and I know that I'm utilizing the coin market cap chart, so let's actually look at this. But it's still kind of, again, gives you an insight on where I'm looking at. So it's roughly like the 4 to 8 cent zone, which has been the floor model going back as far as like January of 2021. It's testing those lows of yearly lows, and this could come down as far as roughly 3 cents as well. So if you really want to look at some nice buy points, look at the 3 to 4 cent zone to possibly roughly the 8 cent area. So to me, between 3 to 8 cents is a perfect accumulation area. Of course, it's a low risk, high reward factor to me. So with that in mind, I hope that kind of clarifies exactly where I'm looking at. I have bought HBAR at around 8 cents. I bought it at around 6 cents, and I even bought it at 3 cents back in 2021 as well. So just to give you guys those insights, that's my entry points on HBAR, and I have accumulated greatly around those ranges, and I even bought a little bit at around like 20 cents as well. Now, with this in mind, let's talk about how early we actually are in terms of the scene. So I've been sharing with you guys my thoughts on how early we actually are in terms of crypto, and this actually goes back to April 20th, 2022, so just last month, when we seen 34 million US adults own cryptocurrency. And this is actually pretty significant because if you think about it, right, we look at the numbers around crypto usage and they're actually very small. I mean, compared to where we currently are in this market, like I've always looked at crypto and we're like sitting at about a $1.2 trillion market cap, almost a 1.3. We hit $3 trillion in market cap just recently, so we're at like 50% less than that market cap high. And, I kind of look at where we will be in like 5 to 10 years from now, right? We're obviously going to be at double-digit trillion-dollar figures, but how high will we actually be? I kind of look at traditional markets and I look at crypto and I'm like, this could easily hit 50 to $100 trillion in market cap by 2030. And I foresee us actually continuing to grow massively as we do kind of move on with adoption and even regulations being ushered in. But we do see here the number of U.S. adults who own and use crypto for payments will surge by double digits through 2023. 3.6 million will pay with crypto in the U.S. Payment value to spike 70% in 2022. Pretty significant. We do see crypto owners and usage stats. It's easier now to invest in cryptocurrency than ever before. In 2021, cryptos became easier to purchase within apps consumers were already using. And while major financial institutions embrace crypto investments, add hype surrounding meme stocks like Dogecoin to this easier accessibility, and you have a huge spike in ownership rates. By the end of 2022, the number of U.S. adults who own at least one cryptocurrency will climb 19% to 33.7 million. That equates to 12.8% of the population, having surpassed 10% last year. The largest ownership group will be adults ages 25 to 34, followed by those ages 35 to 44. And we do see the smallest but fastest growing group will be adults ages 65 and over. Again, I think that we're extremely early, and we also do see here the U.S. cryptocurrency owners 2019 to 2023 millions percent change or percentage of population. So here we have the percentage of the population. Again, you guys can see that this is not spiking massively, but you do see the percentage, change as well. To me, I think that we have a long ways to go before we do see mass adoption really kicking in. I'm really kind of looking at, the day where we see crypto being treated similar to fiat, where individuals are just like, how do you want to pay, crypto or cash? I look at that as we kind of go to the grocery store, right? And you're at the checkout and it asks you debit, credit, whatever. Just imagine if crypto was there. That's where I see peak mass adoption headed. And we will most likely get there in time. And you guys do see the statistics here. You guys can look at it. But, I think that we're so early right now. And we are seeing, transaction values, gaining some massive momentum. I know that we've seen like Bitcoin transact like $13.1 trillion last year alone. So we're seeing massive growth within this area. Now, also, we do see a nice HBAR marketing by Hedera and HBAR Foundation to raise awareness to Hedera Hashgraph, the greenest, most used enterprise-grade crypto. Shout out to Parabolic HBAR for this, but we do see Hedera Hashgraph, the public DOT for enterprise. This is an ad, so they are running ads and marketing for this. But honestly, I really just want to see more, marketing in general on Twitter and things like that. I don't want just Google ads being ran. I think that we're still a stepping stone away from good marketing within Hedera, and the reason why I say like good marketing is just because we haven't really seen that retail demand in terms of marketing aspects being pushed similar to like Solana did, right? So I'm still waiting for that day that we do see, really good marketing, but I do see that they are taking the steps towards that, but I still think that we are a little bit of ways from it. But we also do see here from HBAR to the moon, fair ordering and timestamping of transactions possible only on Hedera allows developments of new use cases that would never be possible on blockchain. Decentralized fair auctions, stock markets, ordering of messages, synchronizing data, gaming, all high transaction per second use cases. Now, again, I mentioned yesterday around these transactions per second use cases being massive. I just want to see them actually go live and be built out. I'm kind of tired of the, all right, well, let's talk about it, but let's not kind of do it sort of aspects. Like, talk is cheap. I really want to see these things go live. I really want to see development happening on the ecosystem. I'm still very bullish on Hedera. I just haven't really seen, them put their, words where their mouth is, if you will. So I really want to see, things really kind of be built out, and I really want to see these use cases go live already. Now, we also do see our newer Layer 1 networks like Hedera that don't use a blockchain at all, but an alternative called Hashgraph are able to drastically reduce these performance challenges to run on par and be on the speed of the Visa network today. This is from an article saying, Web3 skeptics and believers both need a reality check. When we look at what, Hedera is really kind of doing, I really do think that they will be, one of the most utilized, networks within the space and continue to push, to massive, great, adoption within the Web3 and the metaverse scene. We've been seeing them, really kind of put a spotlight on those areas through the funds that the HBAR Foundation have been releasing. But I really just look forward to Web3 and the metaverse scene really kind of being built out fully. I think that right now we're still very early within that, area. And I'm actually going to be talking to you guys about things that have been happening within that area here shortly. But it definitely does beg the question on, like, Hedera is more efficient than Visa itself. So just think about that and really kind of understand where we currently are positioned and the adoption that will essentially happen within Hedera because of how efficient it actually is. Now, let's actually talk about Web3. So we do see here, we are still early. Most of these sectors will have disruptive products built on Hedera. Now, again, like I've said, you got to put your money where your mouth is in terms of this area and really kind of focus on, what they are doing. I just haven't really seen them really kind of build out some solid, use cases within these areas. Obviously, these things do take time, and I'm going to be patient with it. But I just want to see a lot of these things go live. But we just hear by 2030, blockchain technology and Web3 will have disrupted art, music, gaming, entertainment, creator economy, social media, banking and finance, startups, real estate, business and organizations, democratic institutions, social inequalities, and more by transforming digital ownership. And this is essentially Web3, right? Web3 gives people property rights, the ability to own a piece of the internet. Now, I do believe that we will get to that point. I think that when we talk about Web3, I think that it is much bigger than what a lot of people actually are really kind of looking at it. I think that we've only seen the tip of the iceberg in terms of a lot of, use cases being built out within crypto. We look at, play to earn games and stuff like that, and they're great. I just think that that is just like the bare minimum, if you will. But we have been seeing a lot of updates within this area. For an example, eBay launches Genesis NFT collection amid declining market interest. The e-commerce giant is looking to cash in on a once frothy sector with its sports-inspired NFTs. This just happened 2 days ago. Honestly, I think that when we talk about a lot of these companies, I think that they're seeing a lot of the growth around NFTs and also the demand, and they just want to get in on the game because, obviously it's going to continue to grow. I mean, right now, NFTs and the metaverse scene are down a little bit because, of course, the market itself is down. But these are areas that have been, prospects within crypto adoption and growth. So to me, when we look at things happening around NFTs and even the metaverse itself, it really isn't a question on why these companies are moving in. They obviously understand exactly what NFTs are doing. I think that when we look at bull and bear markets, I think that NFTs will also have bull and bear markets similar to even the market itself. And I think that right now, as we really kind of look at crypto being down significantly, I think that NFTs are definitely an area that I'm also focused on because again, the cheaper that Ethereum is, the more cheaper these NFTs that are massively first off, some of them are overvalued, some of them are extremely undervalued. You can get them for a lot cheaper right now. But also, you kind of look at NFTs even on the Hedera, economy, and we've been seeing a lot of demand around that area too. Now, we also did see head of Instagram, I want to use Web3 to shift power from tech platforms to content creators. And to me, I think that this is awesome. I think that when we talk about Web 3.0, I think that it is going to give a lot of, the power back to the content creators. And I've said this about even YouTube as well. I don't really have a complaint about YouTube besides the fact that, like, the scam comments are out of, control. I can't even moderate them anymore. That's how bad it's gotten. I don't like that, but I still think that YouTube could incorporate some NFTs and things like that within the Web3 scene, and they have been focused on a few things, trying to build out, things within that. And I'm really excited for that. I think that when we talk about Web3, I think that a lot of these major platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, etc., will all try to get in on this scene. The thing that I fear the most is centralized entities trying to push into the Web3 scene and kind of, play the white knight, if you will, when they're actually not. They're just there to make money because they see the demand around those areas. That's why I don't like the idea of utilizing Web3 or decentralization as a buzzword when we know that these centralized entities are moving in and we know exactly what's happening, right? So to me, that's one thing that I majorly fear around the Web3 shift, but we have been seeing a major shift happening within the Web3 scene. And we also did see the NFL to launch its own play-to-earn game in the partnership with Play Mythical. This was pretty significant as well. And then, of course, last but not least, the IMF chief said crypto offers us all faster service, low cost, and more inclusion. And this is probably exactly where we are really focused on, right? We're focused on not only Web3 and, games and stuff like that, but we're also focused on the economy and the financial, sector itself. When we talk about the financial system that we utilize on a day-to-day basis in terms of Swift Network, it is extremely inefficient, and when we look at those inefficiencies, it is costing a ton of money in terms of transactional fees. Settlement is extremely slow, and it really kind of does, have barriers to entry for a lot of SMEs and things like that that are trying to make money and build businesses and build use cases. And that's exactly why they are pushing into crypto for more and more, inclusivity. So again, when we talk about crypto and we talk about things happening around crypto right now, we are extremely early. We are seeing things like Hedera being spotlighted because of the efficiencies around it. I think that Hedera is a little bit, still very early on in its development, and that is exactly why we aren't seeing a lot of these use cases being fully built out yet. But I do have, a very bullish insight and vision for what Hedera could essentially be. But hey, similar to any project within the crypto area, it could also fail. But to me, I think that it is, one of those projects that, it's a very low risk, high reward. I think that Hedera to me is almost like the Amazon of crypto. So with that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all, have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.